Good morning and welcome to today's almost daily devotional. We continue this last week of Lent, the fifth week of Lent, to look at stories from the New Testament. This day is Romans chapter 9. It starts with the 19th verse. It goes like this. So you were going to say to me, then why does he still blame people? Who has ever resisted his will? You are only a human being. Who do you think you are to talk back to God? Does the clay say to the potter, why did you make me like this? Doesn't the potter have the power over the clay to make one pot for special purposes and another for garbage from the same lump of clay? What if God very patiently puts up with pots made for wrath that were designed for destruction because he wanted to show his wrath and to make his power known? What if he did this to make the wealth of his glory known toward pots made for mercy, which he prepared in advance for glory? We are the one God has called. We don't come from the Jews. We do not come only from the Jews, but we also come from the Gentiles. Now, this is a really hard passage because it tackles a few things that humans have struggled with throughout the centuries. One of them is the question we ask all the time, that existential question of, God, why did you make me like this? God, why am I like this? And I think we ask God that question all the time. God, why did you make me with this stumbling block? Why did you make me with this issue? It's something we all, I think, ask God all the time. And Paul chooses to answer that question by saying, God made you this way on purpose. God made you this way on purpose. And maybe God did make you like trash. Maybe God made you for the trash heap to begin with. So, I think it's a struggle. We don't like that idea. Presbyterians have always said that God predestined us, that God foreknew us, God made us in the womb, and which we have an okay time with, but it's God making us for good things. We have a much harder time with the idea that God makes some people for bad things. But that's clearly what Paul is saying here. Now, we have to take into account a couple things. One, Paul is influenced by a Greek philosophy school called the Stoicism, probably, most likely influenced by that. Stoics believe that you should take the world as it comes because you don't have any control over anything, and you don't have any control over who you are because the gods made you that way. And so you just go along with whatever the gods have planned for you. We call people stoics nowadays who face things with a stiff upper lip because they know they're not in control. But what do we do with a God who makes some people for bad things? Paul says that it's necessary for God's glory to be known, for there to be some evil in the world. What do we do with that? It conflicts with the idea of a God who loves, a God who is loving first and foremost, right? I don't know if Paul's always right. Paul is a person as influenced by the rest of us, and maybe this is how Paul understood the world to explain the difficulties he was experiencing, or maybe Paul knew something that we don't know. Maybe God knows what's in us before we're born, and it's not so much that God makes us a certain way, but that God knows who we will be when we are born, that God knows the end of our story. And maybe it's that not that God so much makes us this way, but that God knows the beats of our story and loves us anyway.